Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. All right, guys. The day today started kind of slow, was kind of choppy, and there was not much. But in middle of the day, the market just went crazy, crazy, and we got so many winners, led by SPX. Sorry, led by SMCI, of course. SPX by QQQ was great breakouts. So, so we will discuss that the midday, early midday morning breakout and how that panned out. SMCI was good. Tesla was a huge winner for us. There was one loser. So we will discuss all those trades and see how they panned out for us. We will review everything. But before I start, just a quick introduction. These recaps and these trades and teachings are from any trades that I share in my community. I share with my on Twitter, on YouTube. For example, today I shared a bunch of ideas on Twitter as well. And we trade all of our trades, swings, investments. Everything is a repeatable setup. It's a repeatable system that thousands of traders across the world use to trade consistently. We do not trade anything random. Every morning pre-market, me and my team, we are up early creating a game plan and levels for our community to trade off, based upon that we trade, and that's how we see how we make money, how we lose money. We try to review all that and see how that goes. This was a game plan for today. You can see ADSK, AVGO, which were both decent winners in the community that we will recap, and see how they panned out. And among that, we also had Tesla, Netflix, SMCI. You can see we have all these stocks on our game plan, so we are ready to kill it once the market opens, so that we can trade them and see how they panned out. In addition to that, I also share levels for crypto stocks, coin, MSTR, based upon the levels and the clouds. You can trade those. Then we also have what I call is it my day two, day three strategy. This is a strategy I built. I did a free webinar on these as well. How to play them based upon the Ripster EMA clouds, and then you also watch those levels. Today there was some decent winners on that. There was First Solar was a decent short on that, and we'll look at that. VKTX was a decent day two mover. We will watch that as well. So RH was moved a little bit, but we'll take a look. And then we also have our daily levels. You can see the levels on SPY, QQQ, Wix, Apple, Microsoft, AMD, bunch of other names. So we will review all those. We will see what worked for us, what did not. Definitely turned out a big day for the community. As you see, we had 70% people in the community green today based upon these trading setups, the education, and everybody is executing themselves. I'm on the voice first few hours trying to guide the community through what I'm seeing, what the market comments, any trades I'm taking, or any trade guidance. So anyways, I'll show you the timestamp guidance. We'll try to see what were our best trades, what were losers, what were winners. So that being said, let's start with the first with the first trade of the day. All right. The first I'm going to start with SPY and QQQ because that was the one big movers. So you can trade SPY, you can trade QQQ, SPY, QQQ long all day. Based upon that, we many of our other setups kind of gave us midday longs like SMCI, Tesla. So we'll take a look and see how the market kind of worked out. So as you see, the huge breakout on the market, and I walked not only my community, I also walked Twitter through my the breakouts, through the SPY QQQ breakouts, starting from in the morning reversal to each flag. So we'll take a look how I walked everybody through. So before I start, let's go back and let's first see, there's a complete history on the tweets. So let's go back, let's check out if I can show you the complete history. All right, so let's look here, right? When the market first initially opened, we always have these pre-market lows, and then we have pre-market highs. There we have line of resistance here. So if I go back and I show you my levels on SPY QQQ that I had in the morning, there was 543 and resistance and 542 resistance, and then we had QQQ 480 and 481 area resistance. So we had all those levels and we were rejecting. So we were bearish. To start of the day, we are bearish. And then there's always one concept I teach about 10 a.m. 10 a.m. profit taking, 10 a.m. reversals. So 10 a.m. is a very important concept. So anyways, we started the day bearish, nothing special. We were chop. I was actually complaining that we are all-time highs and we are chopping. But then market started to change the trend. You see here? So market trends, I tweeted about it, that market trying to turn bullish. Market trying to turn bullish because Apple was running. Apple was pushing the markets. And then it broke out. You see the downtrend line? Downtrend line, I mean, you can just pull it down, but you can understand this flag, this range, this area is the flag breakout. So then market turned bullish. In the community, I told everybody you can scalp long SPY QQQ calls. And after that, you just had to follow the trend, right? So you see that before I'm showing you the before, I'm already showing you this breakout line. It's not a hindsight. So I'm showing you that, and then you see the breakout. So you hold your SPY QQQ calls. Breaks out, tries to flag again, and I again mentioned that we are holding the flag. At that time, even if you invested $1,000 in SPY QQQ calls, you were already up $700-800 or even more, 100% on the calls, especially if you were doing lottos. And there's another flag. And then boom, the flag breakout, and more, the flag breaker. So there's no reason to cut, no reason to sell. So you see that how at 10 a.m. the reversal came at 10 a.m. The 10 a.m. concept is so important. If you understand that, then you will nail it. I talked about this level many times. So that was my 10 a.m. teaching. That's why I stressed 10 a.m. so much. So we started to reverse on 10 a.m. Then we became bullish. Then of course the technicals and the bullish reversal, everything comes in handy, and we were still breaking out the flags. So that was the complete life cycle of SPY QQQ, and you can see that we were bearish and then we were turning bullish, and then I was telling everybody, the guiding the community on the voice to go long, right? So you see that, right? So that was our SPY breakout, and then all day there was this SPY breakouts. You see this SPY alert. So I was giving the alert that SPY is over 3450. So you see this is where the alert came right here, and this is a repeatable setup. This is a flag setup that's setting up on this 3450. So nice long, you could take 543 calls, 543.50 calls, whatever you want to track, you could track. And even after that, if you see that 541.50, that was the another flag break. And then let's see here, so 545.50, right? So that was 545.50 right here. So that was another flag break, and this was 544 new highs of the day. Then the first alert was 34.50. So and you could scalp it. So that's what I told everybody. You can scalp the long calls on that. That's fine. You could initially we were short in the morning, but then it turned bullish. So that's when you have to turn into the bullish SPY and QQQ. So that was it, right? So you need to understand that when we were initially were bearish, and then 10 a.m. reversal, we try to turn bearish, and then we push on the flag. This is where everything changed. This downtrend line, if I draw it right here, so this downtrend line is where everything changed. So that's all you have to do, guys. You have to watch the 10 a.m. concept, clouds, the pre-market highs, and you will get the trend, right? You will get the trend. You can also watch VIX, and VIX was breaking since the market started pull up, and VIX was breaking out of the 13 level. And when VIX broke down of 13 level, you see there was a support. If I show you here, right, the VIX level, so 13 was a resistance, and once it was breaking down, the market was going up. So even the VIX SPY strategy, so you need to combine all these strategies: VIX, SPY, 10 a.m. concept. And of course I'm guiding everybody. I tell everybody, do not close, hold. Trend is holding. Each flag that broke out, I showed everybody each flag step by step, before and after, right? No hindsight. I have shown you the flag before it happens and then the flag after it happens, just like if you see my tweets. Anyways, guys, and this laid the foundation of a lot of our winners in middle of the day, and we'll talk about them. All right, guys, let's talk about SMCI now. SMCI. So there was all day guidance on SMCI today in the community. So let's see if I can show you all that. So let's see. Right. So let's first go and want to see what were levels on SMCI. SMCI levels were 858, 872. Then we also had SMCI on game plan because it was gapping up, so we were watching it. So you see, initially SMCI was heavy, so that's fine. It's heavy, and when it was bouncing here, this is the bounce you see right here. What is this? This is a daily EMAs. That's a new indicator I'm building, and then there's this support from yesterday lows 830. It's not a coincidence, right? Why is it bouncing from here? It's a support from yesterday's Friday's lows. So I didn't take that long personally, but I did tell everyone that's a B minus long if you want to take it, because I didn't like this action, choppy, 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 choppy. I get interested when SMCI pushed over the clouds. So that's when it interests me, you see. And that's when I tell everybody that it's going for next breakout. Then I charted this chart that I posted on Twitter. I can actually just go back and show you guys what was the chart that I gave everybody on Twitter. So you will see the breakout that we traded. Let me go back there quickly so I can show you here. Okay, so let's see. So you see this. Flag. You see this flag here. So you see this flag, right? So this was the morning idea. No, this was the previous idea. Let's go back in the morning. So this was my morning idea, right? We were flagging downtrend channel break, nice flag, and the same setup I gave everybody in the community. And I tweeted about this daily setup over 883. We have a nice flag breakout. So I already told everybody about this breakout. It was not a hindsight. 883, nice flag breakout. And if you are already long, good enough. But there's also opportunity to long here, long here, this flag breakout, initial break, retest, and go. So these were the opportunities on SMCI. And even when we were trading over here, I gave the target everybody on the voice that we are going to see high of the day. And when we broke out of this area, then I gave the next target 890. Then I gave next target 900. I told everyone if we break 900, we going to push more. So then my next target was 910, and then we pushed into 920s. Final target was 925. It never came. Then we broke 512s, and then we short scalped it down back, right? But the point I'm trying to make is that I have showed you the trade before and after, right? This was before, this was after. It's not hard. It's not hard. There's nothing too high, nothing too low. You need to identify it. And I was guiding my community live on this, and I tweeted about it as well. It was a Twitter idea as well on the breakout. When I tweeted on SMCI on Twitter, it was it went from that area almost 20-30 bucks, and calls just went crazy. 100% calls. A lot of community did really good, and SMCI just made our day, right? And I even short scalped it when it broke this 512, and that was also nice trade, 20% trade. But you can see that how the whole community was on SMCI all day the community was on SMCI, and we were trading it. And just a beautiful yes B, he was very confident in the trade. He rode all the way. So Jaiman, Byron, Kailu, all the community was on top of it. So the point is, you have to find these before the breakout and stick with the breakout and ride them for huge winners. That's only the way you will grow your account. That's only way you will grow your account. So all right. So let's go to the next one. All right. So next one we're going to look at is Tesla. So let's first check our levels, our plan. What was a Tesla? So let's go back here. So looking at Tesla, we had a news that, there's a bunch of news, Musk being investigated by SEC. So we were gapping down. So we were bearish in the pre-market. Our pivot level was 178, 179. And as soon as the market opens, I see a bullish move, right? Bullish move over the clouds. Right away, after first 5 minutes, I tell everybody long versus 178. You can watch the pullbacks as well. I always tell everybody to watch the pullbacks. but you can always do a starter and scale in, and then we break out. So 182.50, my first target that I gave everyone, and we broke out of this level. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we break out of that level and then we push 182.50, my first target. Then we kind of flag here. So this area you see here, so we kind of flag there for a while, and nice flag. I like this. So this is the flag setup. We are rejecting, rejecting, rejecting because there's a seller at 182, and then we break out, boom, and up. Look at this candle. That's a money making candle, right from 181, 82 all the way to 185, like a $3 straight up candle. So that's the kind of move I love to see, and Tesla does make that move from time to time, and you see that. And then it's all about the guidance. We are holding the trend, log half the profits, 184 next, 184 target met, 186 target met, next, and 186 target met, and then I told everybody to roll into 187.50s, right? And then we reached 187.50s. It kind of faked out 512 break and reclaimed 512s because there was a support here, and then it held up all day, and then I'm swinging some profits. So you can see the whole guidance from the morning levels, 178. This was the risk level. This is, so when I say versus, means that's the risk level, and that's when you long. And literally the calls paid went 100%, on 85, 187.5. Love the range on Tesla lately, right? It has been such a tight range for a long time, but now it's giving a great range. Yesterday gave a great range. Even now, if we see the breakout over 190, we're gonna get a nice breakout. So, but Tesla was definitely a lot of fun to trade today, and big win for the community. So the next one we're gonna look at is our ADB, Adobe. So as you guys know, Adobe was one of our news plays on Friday, right? It was a news plays on Friday, and now before the market open, let me show you. And it was on my day 2, day 3 setup. I forgot to put it on the list here, but I did when I realized that I forgot to put it on the list. Then right before the market opens, I gave everybody these two levels on Adobe. Let's see here. There. Adobe 528, 522, 518, day 2, day 3 setup. I gave those levels to everyone in the pre-market. And as you guys know, it had this big gap, right? So we all know that there was this gap that we had from Friday. And if you, I don't know if you, I didn't do a video on Friday, but I was talking on Twitter about that why I didn't trade this tight move, right? And I talked about these levels. If we break, we're gonna fade. And guess what? We broke right at open. We broke, and that's when I told everybody short the pops. 518 breaks will confirm more fade. And since I told everybody to short Adobe went on to fade, and you see this big bounce at 10 a.m. You don't really cover, it's you wait for the bounce to hit. It never really closed over. It never really became bullish. So there was no reason. So if you were adding here and you were stopping out here, that is your problem. That is not Adobe's problem. It's still respecting the system. It's still lower from what I talked about in the morning, and you hit it. You hit the pop. See the rejection, you hit it, and then it went on to fade to 505s today. So that was Adobe short all day, right? So that was Adobe short all day, and then we played the curl setup. So you see here when it was curling right here, then I told everyone that now we need to watch, right? Cut, it curls, and then look for long versus 510s. And then I took 515 calls, which went like another 100% for me as well. We longed here, and then it went on to push to 520 and later to 522s. So that was a solid move on Adobe today. You see how we shorted it. So you see my timestamp guidance and on the short side, and then you see the reversal that I called out on the voice, that I mentioned on the alerts tab. So you could see that how the five, the puts went 100% first, and then the calls went, my this call was I think 50. I started logging at 30%. I logged till I think 60%. That's where I logged it. But you can see the timestamps, and you can see the time here when we started to reverse. So I often teach you guys how to play these reversals, how this pushes here, pulls back to the cloud, you long it, and then you ride it all the way. Beautiful. A lot of money was today to be made on Adobe. So the next one we're going to discuss is BBY. So BBY. So what was the plan on BBY? So let's see. So BBY was on our game plan, and the plan on BBY was here. I highlight short if 90 breaks for a gap fill. So I gave that idea everyone in the pre-market. And guess what? We broke the 90 right away, and I told everybody short. You see the game plan, we short it. Short, 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 short. And I told everybody to cover at 88. You see, I told everyone to cover to 88 because that was kind of one of our targets. If I draw the Fibonacci retracement, you can see that it's even lower. Even if I go here, like let's say I go here at the opening price, so you see that it was a 61 Fibonacci, and that's why I told everybody to cover it. And then once it reclaimed the cloud, it was bullish. It was a great guidance on BBY, and I told everybody to not hold over these clouds 3450, and it went on to run because this was a solid daily breakout. This was amazing. Look at this breakout on BBY, and it went on to run. There was a great guidance all day by RGV on BBY today. That was amazing. So that was a BBY trade. It was a morning short, and then it was a midday long. And just by EMA cloud system, I often cover that midday longs. And let's go to the next. Let's look at one of our losers today. ANET was a morning loser, even though in midday started to go, but I was trying to trade in the morning, and when it was, I told everybody to long versus the cloud because ANET was on our game plan today. It was on our watch list. You see there, all-time high breakout, bullish versus the cloud pullback. 332, 330 was our support, and I told everybody to long. It pulled back, and when it pulled down under the clouds, you long here, you just stop out. But it kind of swiped back. I mean, I was I couldn't wait on the 10-minute candle because it really dropped pretty fast. And you see that right here it's dropping under the clouds, so that's kind of a problem, and you have to manage the risk. And then it went on to run after stopping me out. It went on to run. I would, if I saw it later in the day, I would have traded this setup, but that's fine. We had so many other good setups in the community, so I left it alone. But that was a morning loser. All right, let's now look at First Solar. So First Solar was the short all day. So let's look at First Solar. What was our plan? So First Solar was on our one of our star. It was a star um, main one of a main day 2, day 3 setups. TD Cohen raises the price target. I gave the price alerts 272, 81, and 276. But it broke the pivots right away, and First Solar was bearish. I did mention First Solar and MRNA. I both the stocks I mentioned for short, and they went on to fade from 273 to 220 because look here, First Solars broke the 512 clouds. This is amazing, right? This was like a huge winner today, huge winner. You can see even the Lexi in community, one of our senior traders, she was short right at open, shorted FSLR, short Adobe. So you can see her guidance all day long on First Solar, and you just have to notice those setups, right? And I noticed that, and it was a good win. Then we had MRNA, right? At the same time, I saw FSLR, I saw MRNA short, but MRNA kind of became bullish. Pretty, it was bearish 5441 when I was talking about. It did flush to 135, and then it came back, break even stops, and it turned bullish. So I told everyone that MRNA is no longer a short; it's bullish. And after that, it ran. See, no short now, back over 512. I told everybody this at 1052, and since I told everybody that, it went on to run like $3 4. So it was not a short anymore. So that was the setup on Myrna. Short in the morning, midday curl, but you can see how they were big short winners. So there was another kind of a loser today, SFM, and it was a B minus. Although it was a B minus short, I mean, if you were fast, you could make $1, but it went into a B minus short. It was, let's see our game plan, SFM. So SFM, the game plan was no volume in pre, B minus gap possible if the pivots break, right? That's what I said, B minus 78.40, and there's 80 was resistance. It did break 78.40 and it did pull back, but it right way it came back, then it reclaimed the clouds. So and it kind of was a loser because it was not going anywhere and decided to take it off. So that was a kind of a loser trade. If it was a B minus, right? It's never breaking 34.50. The levels are not clear in the pre-market, so it was a kind of a B minus short. Didn't really work out. It maybe we fill the gap tomorrow, but for today it didn't do anything. All right, let's look at one of other names that we were swinging earlier and we had to stop out. This was VKTX. So VKTX was our day two setup, and it had this 52.85, 53.13. So those were kind of the levels on VKTX, and it broke. It kind of turned bullish earlier. I told the community when it was turning bullish on this 512, it was bearish. So there was no reason to long VKTX when it was right here. But when it turned bullish, that's when I told everybody that it's turning bullish. There was a nice trade of either you trade 512 entry, 34.50 entry. That was a decent couple of dollars scalp to the upside. Let's look at IWM. This was one of the other idea which I gave on the voice, but we can go back and look at the levels on IWM that I gave. So levels on IWM that I gave today was 198.51, 199 were resistance pivots, but the level to long was when they were turning over the clouds. And once they broke over the pivots, they were off to the races. And my idea was right here, and you could put your stops. You see how they respected this stop. So when you're trying to long here, your stops here, here, that's the area your stops. And then, or you can just trade 34.50 call. You don't even need to trade the 512 calls. You can enter here and your stops here, like 20-cent stop. And it was a nice push on IWM today. So that was IWM. It was mostly on a voice alert, and you can see here. This is a price alert 198.47. That's a curl alert, and then 200 target, and it did meet our 200 target and much more. Netflix today was another long in the community. It was not long earlier when it was dipping in the morning, but when the market reversal came, when I showed you the SPY QQQ breakout, then I told everybody that if you are long over the clouds, put your stop 66, 68, 40 area. So, traders were trading on the trading floor. They were asking me, and I said, push your stops here. When you are long like 10, 20s, then you're long here, put your stops here, and after that it was just to hold your position and manage the breakouts and ride it all the way to 682. That was almost a 10 $11 trade when you were risking like $2. So one risk to 4 5 reward trade, and you can watch the timestamp guidance here, but this was a lot of voice guidance on this trade. And a lot of community did do good on Netflix. We know it was a big breakout yesterday, so always know I'm not interested to buy this area, but I will buy when I see the reversal. And when SPY QQQ is running, you should not be scared of these trades. They are going to follow because the same pattern as SPY QQQ. So Netflix did the same. Amazon, you see, did the same. So you see these reversals, the 512 curls. So those were beautiful movers, right? So you just can trade anything in the market. If market is pushing, look at Google, so you can see those as well. And even if you look at my levels, right, if you look at the levels I gave, any level to look, Amazon, Google 176.35, Amazon 183.84, so they were all breaking out, they were pushing with the market. So that was the reason for the long wins on Netflix, and Microsoft, Google and Amazon. Let's look at a swing winner for us. That is DUOL. So DUOL, I have spoken about this stock many times. I covered in videos as well. It's a high growth stock. It sold off on some news. And when I gave the swing, maybe I can just show you guys here. So when I gave the swing on this one, we were so let's say swing tracker. So let's see here. It should be here, right? So DUOL, our entry was close to 188, 190, and it's up, 20. It's up like from 23 bucks from where the entry was supposed to be, because this was the setup. See, I lied the reversal setup. This was the reversal setup, and you see how it pushing here, and then if I so that was that. Let me see if I can move it right here, and we can see our DUOL. You know, so our stops were 183 or 180, and you could see that, so this area when it was curling, right? So you see there's a that's why I had a stops here, because there was this was a stop, and then it held, and then finally it broke out. You see this flag and you this area and pushed higher into the gap. So beautiful swing winner, right? From 190s, or 185s, this area, and nice $20 mover from $6-7 risk. So one risk to three or reward winner already. So that was a beautiful win for so far. Now the stops should be at under 200, and should push more. There are a couple other winners in the community today. As I told you, 70% of the community was green. ADSK was one, and then AVGO was one. Those were all bullish, strong moves, and both were on our watch list. You see ADSK at bullish versus to neutral, and it ran all day. RGV did a great guidance on ADSK all day. You can see it is on Twitter. Then AVGO, I told everybody to trade versus 1800, and you see that it's holding the clouds, it's holding this level, it's breaking out of 1800. So it was kind of all day long with the market is crazy gapping up AVGO more. So let's take a look at this penny stock, right? MBIO. So somebody in the community was like, do not touch it, it's a trash. I mean, that's fine, all of these penny stocks are trash, but we are not investing, or we are not getting married to these penny stocks. So the story with these penny stocks is they don't have a cash. Even if they have good news, they're gonna run up for some time and they're gonna do offering. But that doesn't mean that we cannot trade them, right? MBIO had solid news in the morning. You can see here there's a news, right? 240. Their safety and efficacy data was good. Phase clinical trial good. So there was some good data, and we don't get blind by the data or something. We watch the price action. If you watch my webinar on the low floats, and this was a guidance in our community all day by William, was all over MBIO. Today they were all trading MBIO in our in the small cap room. You can see that. So we had a whole day guidance on MBIO. Vijay was on MBIO and William. So what I'm trying to explain you the setup, right? So you see this gap up. This is a 512 pullback setup, and then you have a breakout retest. So this is your entry, 40 cents over 50 psychological is your entry. When these penny stocks run over 50 psychological level, they tend to run more, they tend to hold it, and you can see that push, pull back to 50 cents, then push again, breakout, similar flag, just like what it did here. So you can see the similar kind of pattern, right? It's still holding the Ripster 512 clouds. So right here your risk is 50 cents, right here your risk is 40 cents, right here your risk is 60 cents, and that's why Vijay was adding at 60, right? And it was and William had been talking about it this morning. um, Aragon was on top of it, and all day, all the whole day was long. But my point I'm trying to explain that is, you want to see this the patterns long. You want to see this basing here. There's a level here, there's a buyer here, so you can buy it here. We had quite a bit discussion in the community when people, I showed you, like, one of the traders was like, Rip, it's a trash. It's a trash. I agree. But that doesn't mean we can't trade it, because we are not getting married, or we are not getting investing our portfolio in it. There's a lot of good risk reward. You can buy here, your risk for 7-8 cents, and you make, mm, 5 times your risk. If you added 30 cents, you 100% at 60 cents. you could add 40 cents. So that's from our low float webinar. I plan to do more watch lists and the morning plans on these low floats, but for now I just wanted to recap this nice winner for us in the community, especially the low float traders in the community was a nice winner. But understand, yes, they will do offering, that's fine, but there's a volume. The volume today is 1 billion, and when there's a real volume, it doesn't fade like that. It's not going to fade right away. And one is always a big resistance. If it holds one tomorrow, it might push. And finally, they will do the offering and slowly, blah, blah, it's going to come, sell, and come back. But till then, it's providing the lot of opportunities. Look at these chart setups, look at the Ripster clouds, look at the psychological levels. $1 is always a magnet. Once the stock starts to break out of 70, 75 cents, 80 cents, $1 is always a magnet on these penny stocks. And $50 another psychological level. So that's how you trade with Ripster clouds. If you're more interested in trading the low floats and penny stocks, you can watch my webinar on that. Anyways, guys, that was it for today. Beautiful day, as I already showed you. 70% of the room was green today, so that was good. Less people red, lesser people flat. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.